Welcome back to Between the Vines. Todd Hermans and Trey Thomas. We're starting this show off sipping on a little Chardonnay Reserve. Tell them where we're at today, Trey.
Oh, we're at Penn Woods over here in Pennsylvania. Beautiful facility right here, beautiful vineyard. You could just tell that this is like one of the nicest vineyards over here in PA. I love that. One of the things I love about coming to PA, and not only just all the back roads that you get to drive on, the different elevations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in Jersey, I like Jersey. You find a lot more of the like flat, like farms and stuff. But I like driving over in PA where you can get all the different elevations. I like those like old school rock formations,
Get the
walls.
rolling hills.
Yeah,
the
you
old
know what I'm saying?
farms.
Like, I like driving over here in PA. That's one of the things that I'm really going to enjoy as we're working through this, is just all the back roads that we get to go down.
Yeah, I agree with that. The back roads are a little treacherous as we get later into the year.
Oh yeah.
Because they're windy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But if you're in a hurry, not ideal, but if you're ready to take in the sights and look at the beautiful surroundings, then that's where you need to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we just finished up this week. We hosted the Commanders.
Yes.
The Commanders.
Yes,
And
the Commanders.
quite the nail biter. I was actually there in person. You know, I don't mind the extra football as long as we come out on top, but I could have done without the stress. Because it could have been really sad really quickly.
I mean, you're going to get the stress anytime you get extra football. You don't find the sparky guy that when they make a big play. You know what I'm saying? Like back when Doc would make a big hit, it was all the flexing, the Wolverine
all the
going on.
stuff.
You know, he's Wolverining all over the place.
Yeah.
Big Trot.
Heavy Wolverine.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When Trot makes a play in the backfield, it's the big chop.
You
know, Freddie Mitchell makes a big catch. It's all eyes on me. He does the People's Champ belt and all of that.
Yeah.
What you don't see on the team, it's just business as usual. You know, like when you watch, I think that everybody has kind of adopted Jalen Hurts mentality to the game, where it's just business as usual, except for this situation with A.J. Brown, which we'll get into. You know, I get it. But as most of the time, it's just business as usual. You have Sweat, he come out there, he wipes his brow, you know, or
a little bit of that.
Yeah, you know, Fletcher Cox, he'll crawl on the ground.
Yeah, he'll do
his
put him
thing.
in the sights, you know.
But for the most part, everything's business
There's
as
no
usual.
trench cold bow hunter.
No trench cold bow hunter. You know, Hassan Reddick, he does the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. I'm not sure. I guess that's all.
So where are you going with this? Is this good or bad?
I think it's. I mean, I think I like it.
It definitely shows a togetherness of the team, and I'm out here for my brothers rather than my brand thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know what?
It seems like focused on the mission.
Yeah, just focus on the mission. I'm going to make a big play. I'm expected to make that big play.
Right.
Here's the ball, referee. Let's move on with the game. I kind of like the mentality that these guys come with. I like the energy that they're playing with. It's not all flashy. It's just about handling business.
Think about who the pillars of this team are.
Yeah.
They're trench guys. They're not flashy guys. They're guys that get in there between the vines. You know, they get tangled up. They're not flashy players. They're, you know, BG, Kelsey, Lane, Fletcher. Those guys have been here for the long haul. And I think that kind of carries on to the youth of, you know, make your plays, act like you've been there before.
Yeah.
You know, because they've been here a long time.
Yeah, and I like that. I kind of like the way these guys are approaching the game. You know, sometimes it'll look a little flat, but I think that, you know, these guys are just out there handling business.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And maybe people want the flash and the dominance and you know, I was saying to a friend earlier, I was like, this is the angriest 4-0 fan base on the planet. Like, you guys are 4-0. Why are we so angry?
We're 4-0.
What are we trying to find all these problems for? But that's just, you know, we always are wanting better, always wanting more. In the NFL, it's very rare if you're going to see a team come out and just stomp on everybody's throat week in and week out. You know, that's rare because it's the NFL. And on any Sunday, any team can beat any other team. You know, if everything lines up appropriately. Now, sometimes you see those 70-20 games, you know, like we saw down a couple weeks ago with Miami. But the majority of the time, it's going to be a hard-fought battle, and if you're let up, you're going to get caught slipping.
Tell me, with the Miami game, would you have gone for to take the record?
I mean, at that point, like, you don't know if you're going to get close enough ever again.
No.
I would go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would go for it.
I'm going
every
for the
time,
record.
bro. I'm trying to make history.
Yes.
I'm trying to make history and be memorable.
Oh, yeah. Like, coaches are just going to be pissed because yes, we're kicking
Yeah,
we're kicking the
we kicked
field
your
goal
ass.
and we're number one now.
Yeah,
Take
we
that.
are number one. You will always be a loser in historically, you know.
Your name, because your name is
Your
already in
name
the
is
book.
synonymous
Your
with
name
this
is already
historical
in the
loss.
book because you just got your ass kicked
Right.
70-20.
So what's it matter?
So what does it
73,
matter? What's 3 more
28? Right,
points?
exactly.
I would have gone ahead and gotten that record. But anyway, let's back to the Eagles. All right. I think that these guys just play with a totally different energy. I think they play with a totally different confidence. You know, I think that when you go back and you look at this game, you know, Washington has gotten better. You know, they have gotten better as a team. You can't think about this as the team of old. They have new ownership. They have new management. You have new coaching staff out there. Eric Bieniemy is bringing in a fresh new blood out there with the offense, bringing something different into the game. And, you know, I think that they're a better team than what you thought. And I think their secondary has some improvement, and they have a pretty solid defensive line.
I would agree with you. They're definitely showing themselves to be a force to be reckoned with, especially with all the changes that have been made down there. You know, it's sometimes a team or an organization or the culture just needs a shift. And it seems like we're kind of witnessing that. You know, you can't take them lightly anymore. I was happy to get out of this week with a win because, you know, we dropped our first loss, our only loss to them last year, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And I remember how sad I was after that game. And I didn't want to repeat that. So we're happy, and we had a great time because we won.
Man.
Chicken Little making it work.
Chicken Little, 54-yarder.
From 54 for the win. On the way. It is there. And the Eagles remain unbeaten.
Dude, it is kind of uncanny,
Yeah.
the resemblance. You know, Devontae Smith pointed out.
Yeah.
I heard Jake's not a huge fan of it, so we'll just touch on it this one time and move on. But
He doesn't like being called Chicken
I
Little.
guess
I know
I
personally.
mean, I probably wouldn't appreciate
No,
it.
I know. Let's come up with something else.
I wouldn't appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no. I mean, there has to be
what
something a little
about-
bit more aggressive.
What about Jake the Destroyer or
Yes.
something cool?
Mighty leg.
Mighty leg.
Mighty leg Jake. Something like
Heavy
that.
leg.
You know, something.
Yeah.
Something more than Chicken Little. Yeah, you know, because we already got past the tush push.
Do you want to put your hands of your season in a Super Bowl victory in the hands of Chicken Little or Mighty Leg?
I want Mighty Leg.
I want Mighty Leg out there booting that thing too.
Big little Mighty Leg.
Let's get back to
Let's get back to some of these wines really quick, man.
Yeah,
Let's
we need
show
to fill it up.
some of the wines that we have here at Penns Woods. You know, man, absolutely. So we've already had the Penns Woods Chardonnay Reserve. Now we're going to switch over to.
I am cooking. It is just your average 80-degree October day.
Oh yeah, just a beautiful.
just
I
out
mean,
here.
you know, what I'm saying? Like that's what you're going to get
leaking.
between the vines. We take whatever weather it is, and it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day, dude. Like, what else could you? What else would you rather be doing than to sit out here, sweat a little bit, and enjoy some wines, man, and talk a little ball?
Sweating is healthy.
Yeah, it's purifying.
Yes.
It-
Purification process.
Purification process.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't
I'm
just me.
gonna call this the Vognier Reserve.
Okay, Rachel.
Nah.
Viognier.
Yeah, I left the I out.
Yeah,
the
there you go.
Viognier Reserve.
Hold on, you tried to get too fancy with
I
it.
did.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wait
oh, that's
minute.
a sneaky letter. I
Yeah.
couldn't pronounce
So
it.
hold on. Say it again. Yeah, that was a little too fancy.
Viognier Reserve.
No, you're still
Right?
trying to get too fancy.
Viognier.
Viognier.
No, not a vignette. A vignette is like a vinaigrette that you eat with your oysters.
Okay, so what is it now?
Viognier.
There we go, Viognier.
There we go.
All right.
Are you gonna mix it with that? Or are you
Oh
gonna
no,
preach
my
us to
bad.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do some wine term education as we go through this.
Yeah.
And I just Googled something on the way here. you
Okay.
know. Well, obviously I wasn't driving, but
Yeah, you can't.
Before I got
Don't
here.
Google and drive.
yeah.
Okay.
And I just got a list. And I know last week we talked about when you go through the process, so like you see a lot of people would take the big sniff.
Yeah, we take. Okay.
Yeah. They're taking in the bouquet or aroma of the glass of wine.
Okay.
And generally that, I guess, is more for older wines. I'm not really sure if that's true or not. We could talk to her.
Old in you.
Old, yeah.
All wine has that.
All wine has a specific bouquet. Okay.
Okay.
And that can actually help enhance your tasting experience if you take in a big huff.
Okay.
We're huffing wine now.
Okay. Yeah.
Taking a big huff before you sip.
Okay. All right. And then what else?
Hey, well, you know the process we talked about last week,
Yeah.
where you take a little bit of air in with the wine, swish it around, you know, you aerate it, get the good oxygenation.
Okay.
Might not be the right word, but and then you just taste it.
Yeah, I love it, man. But here we go, man. Cheers.
Cheers, Trey.
All right, there we go. All right. All right, I like this. It's very crisp. I like it chilled. It has a very clean taste to it. It's fruity. We're gonna have to talk to the winemaker a little bit more about this because it's a light taste.
They set us up with some great
Yeah.
80-degree weather wine.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice
everything
and
is on
crisp,
ice. No,
refreshing.
I'm good.
Like, I thought we were gonna come and drink like a sweaty cab right now off
No,
the bat, and I
no.
wasn't ready for it.
No,
you know?
Rachel's taking care of us.
But
man.
yeah, this is great. It is very refreshing.
Yes.
It's a very pleasant flavor. I don't know a whole lot about, you know, what it is. All I know is what I like.
Yeah. And I like this.
Yeah, this is good.
And this is
The Viognier.
the Viognier Reserve.
So the Viognier is the grape type,
Yes. The
similar to a
Viognier.
Chardonnay. Very different.
Much different.
Much different.
Still like a French varietal, but it's grows a lot in Italy as well.
Okay.
Usually like southern France, north, west. We have a lot in Abruzzo in my region.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of the bouquet. The bouquet what really makes the Viognier a powerful wine.
Okay.
Those white flowers. And you can pick it when it's less ripe, when it's very ripe. Maybe two different wines with the same grape.
I'm now sweat through my shirt.
Yeah, it's okay.
Grape was a bad choice.
Yeah. Well, it's all good, man. I mean, it's a beautiful day. You know, we just gonna hang out, enjoy some more wines, man.
Yeah. So the Viognier Reserve, we like it.
Yes.
It's chilled. It's meant to be cold, right?
Yes, slightly cold. It enjoys like around 14, 16 Celsius.
Okay.
Nice.
Fahrenheit will be, Rachel, no?
55 degrees.
Yeah.
55 degrees.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
All right. The second wine word that I'm going to throw out there, our
Okay.
wine word of this week, would be the body of a wine.
Okay.
And what I was reading, and you can go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it's the weight of the wine in your mouth. So if you drink the wine and it feels heavy on your tongue, I guess. I
Okay.
don't know how you use the tongue scale or something like that, but it's how heavy it feels. So if it feels really heavy, it's heavy bodied, and if it feels like it's not even in your mouth, it's light bodied. Is that?
Yes, I would say if the wine kind of lingers in your mouth, doesn't, the flavor, the taste, stays in your mouth for long, that one is considered like a big body. Okay. It kind of like fills up your mouth. When it's a light body, it kind of like come, in and out very quick, light and.
That makes sense. Okay, so it doesn't linger.
No, it doesn't linger.
Heavy people linger.
Yeah. So there you go.
Light people are on the move. Always just out on their power walk.
Yeah.
Checking in with you and then bouncing.
That's a good way to think about it. There you go. I like that. I'm sorry. How you pronounce it again?
Viognier.
Viognier Reserve. Oh, I like it.
What is a reserve?
Okay, the reserve is the extra special care and time they reserve to the wine. Usually when we put the reserve name on the wine, this one has went through specific choosing of a specific spot of the vineyard. So we leave the wine on the lees for many months. It just makes this wine a more age-worthy wine.
No, it's not something that you can rush. You just
can't rush it.
I mean, everything is based off of your harvest and what you're putting the work into and farming, so there's a lot that goes on into it, and it's something that can't be rushed. And makes you appreciate it a lot more as someone that's just enjoying
Drinking
it.
Yeah, just out here on a nice day. drinking it.
Yeah, absolutely. Know that
especially-
it's been put
So
through a process.
It's very offensive line-like.
Yeah.
It's not something you can rush. You got to
No.
put in a lot of work.
It has to take
lot of
time.
labor. It takes
you have to
time.
take your lumps. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, when you talk about offensive line play, and people, it takes a lot of time for an offensive lineman to get to where he is as a player, to put in the work. You have to take your lumps. You have to go
gotta
out there.
get
You got to get
embarrassed.
beat.
You got to get embarrassed.
Oh
a couple
yeah, you have to
times.
get embarrassed. And I tell,
You hope it's in practice.
oh man,
Sometimes it happens in the game.
Sometimes it happens in the game. But you're going to get embarrassed. You're going to get put on your ass. That's as an offensive lineman, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't happened yet, keep playing. You're going to go up against someone that's going to put you on your ass, and it's going to look ugly. And we're all going to laugh at you in the meeting room,
Yeah.
but you will learn from it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I tell my son all the time, I'm like, look, man, you're going to get beat. You're going to get beat. Everybody's going to get beat. You go back and you look at the game, even just to take it back to the game. Jordan Mailata gives up his sack against Chase, and I thought Jordan Mailata has progressed. He has gotten a lot better as a player, but he just got a little lazy with his hands, I think. And I'm going to show you guys in the clip just what I'm talking about here. I felt like he was carrying his hands a little low, and then now you get caught with that rush that everybody is doing it, where it's kind of like the hop cross out type of move. Chuck Smith developed it down there in Atlanta, one of the top defensive ends that I've gone up against in my career. Chuck Smith, he trains a lot of D ends out of Atlanta. He came up with this move where everybody's doing like the little cross chop, little hop out move. And you see Sweat use it a lot, but all is designed for guys that carry their hands low. And he just got caught with low hands and he gave up a sack, and that's going to happen. But I think the way he bounced back and continued to play, he has definitely gotten better as a player.
Yeah, and I think like so many people will focus on that sack and be like, I don't know if Mailata is who we thought he was, but that can't be the case, because like you're saying, you're gonna get beat.
Yeah.
It depends on how you respond to getting beat. Like, that's what makes the streaks like Lane is going on right now like so impressive, because everybody gets beat. So when you get on a streak where you're not getting beat and you're just locking people down consistently, people take notice.
Yeah, and I think that what Lane is doing, coming off of that torn abdomen, I knew that Lane was going to have to change the way he played. And I think that what you changed, because before Lane would just kind of sit back, let the defensive ends come to him. He would take on the bull rush, clamp him down. But you see this year, he's playing with extension now. He's using his hands. He's using his hands a lot more than he's done in the past couple of years, just because he's coming off of that torn abdomen. He can't sit there and let defensive ends climb into your chest the whole game.
Chest like that, and you got to sit it down, that's all core.
Yeah.
It's all just dropping your core. And that's a great observation of his game and how he's able to adapt to what his strengths are currently as to what they've been in the past. He's always just had them powerful hips that he's been able to just drop down and like not let anybody move him any further back.
Yeah.
And you see it. And now you're right, he's playing with a lot more extension, trying to control the guys instead of letting them get into him. And he's just continuing his lovely streak right now.
Absolutely. Let's get us another wine, man. Let's get us another
What
wine.
are we moving on to?
All right, so let's see. Okay, hold on. The rosé is for
I'll pour
later.
this one.
Hold on, is the rosé for now?
Oh, the
no, that's a
Moscato's
Moscato.
sweet.
Yeah, so we're gonna go rosé. Let's go.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
I got this one. So we're working with a Penn's Woods Rosé, and I'm trying to see what type of grapes this rosé is from, but we can go ahead and
We're gonna ask
our specialist.
Yes.
Okay. This one is a rosé that we make mostly for Cabernet Franc. We put a little bit of Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Carmine. The Cabernet Franc holds the most flavorful compounds to make a rosé. The Merlot and the Carmine have that beautiful purple color that brings the look of the wine, the brightness, and the Cabernet Sauvignon, a little bit like a tartness.
So lower alcohol, generally sweeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you look
That's a
at
good
it,
trick.
you're looking at like 6, 7, 8% sweeter rosé. If you're looking at like 11, 12% drier rosé.
Okay. That's a great tip.
Yeah. There you go. How do you like the rosé?
Well, first impression was that it's not a sweet rosé,
Yeah.
which I can appreciate.
Yeah. Because I don't like all my wine sweet. But I like
If
the
it's
taste
something
of
like a rosé, I feel like I'm going to drink a lot of it, and it's going to be a nice day out.
Yeah.
So I'm like outside enjoying the sun.
Yeah, it's like a beach wine.
Yeah, beach wine,
Yeah.
pool wine.
Yeah.
And stuff. So like this,
This is
I feel like
perfect
I
for
could
this
drink a
weather.
lot
Right?
of this.
Oh yeah,
I
we'll
could
sit
drink a
here
lot
and
of
drink
this.
this all day.
fairly light.
Yeah, I think
There's
it's
a little
like
linger, but it's not. Let's see if he matches up with our prediction.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's light bodied. There's a little linger, but it's not very profound.
yeah.
It's light
Yeah.
bodied.
That's right.
Let's hop into football a little bit
Yeah.
here. We were just giving our flowers to the D-line last week. What do you think happened there in the beginning? It looks like there was a little bit more progress with the run this week.
Yeah.
Not to say the D-line didn't play well, because there's more to it than that. But, Washington had a great day running the ball. And there was also a couple holes out there, you know. And maybe I'm just being an Eagles fan and expecting it all to be perfect right now, but you know, what did you see on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the trench?
Well, I think that, you know, you're going to get those moments where, just like everyone else, they're working inside zone, outside zones as well. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting combination blocks from the defensive side of the ball where they're working, getting up to the second level as well. And then one of the things that Eric Bieniemy has always been good at is just kind of working passes off of that as well. Anytime you can lighten the box with a pass, where you can hit a quick pass, then now you're lightening the box, which allows you to get some of those runs that can get to the second level. So one of the things, you're going to find that at times where you have a offensive coordinator that's going to give you some runs, that's going to give you some of those RPOs where he can throw the pass off of it. It's going to lighten the box, and then that's when you just have to have a defense that won't bend, that'll bend but won't break. That's not going to give you that big. If you sit up there and you grind the ball down and you just keep giving, you know, those little 5-10 yard chunks, whatever it is, then 3 yards and 2 yards, you know, all right, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that long as they're not giving up that big gashing play, it's okay. I can take that.
All right. Ride it out.
Ride it out.
Yeah.
Ride it out.
Break.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're going to get some of those. When you have Carter that's taking on some of those double teams, Fletcher Cox, they're going to win sometimes.
Right.
And I think what you're seeing, even when you go back and you look at what our offense is doing, they're running some of those same side inside zone runs. Because you know that if sometimes you're going to have a 1 technique and then you're going to have a 3 technique opposite of the running back. So if you're in a shotgun formation and the running back is to the left, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a 3 technique to the right. And you're going to have a 1 technique to the left. All right. So you're going to have a 1 technique over the left guard and center, a 3 technique over the right guard. And that's going to be on his outside shoulder. So what you're seeing now, normally they do that because when you hand the ball off, the running back usually crosses the quarterback's face. So now what you're getting is inside zone runs to the side that the running back is on.
Same side.
Yeah, same side, inside zone. And you're getting that 1 technique. You're going to get that inside. You're going to get a combination block between Kelsey and left guard on that 1 technique, working up to the linebacker.
Just cuts an edge right there.
Oh, it just opens
up.
up.
Some stretch with your tackle, it's wide open right there.
Oh, it's right there because the defense has helped you out by playing the rules of the game and saying, all right, we're going to go 1 technique to the running back side and a 3 technique because the running back usually crosses his face. All right, then we go same side, inside zone. Or if you mess around and you say, all right, we're going to stick to it, we're going to put a 1 technique to the right and a 3 technique to the left to the running back side, because you're playing that we're going to go same side, inside zone. Well, we run inside zone across the quarterback's face, and you can't lose.
All right, so here we go. Let's just talk about same side, inside zone runs, all right? Because like we were talking about earlier, this is something that the Eagles have been doing that's been very successful. So let's just draw this up real quick. We talked about it earlier, but let's just go over it again. Running back is to the right. Now, the 3 technique is opposite of running back. 1 technique, all right, defensive end, we got our 2 linebackers, all right? First things first in all of this, declare the mic, because that's who Kelsey is working with to try to get a combination block on. So now we're getting a combination block to the mic. Then we get that other combination block to the other side linebacker, cut off, all right? Then now the running back can cut it back, and then now we're getting that running back to the safety. Every run play is designed to get the running back to the safety, all right? So now here's another look at it. Okay, now this is more, we're running it the traditional way, okay? So now here we go. Let's just draw this up so you guys can see it, okay? So now, again, same setup except for the tight end is to the right, okay? Now the running back is to the right. 3 technique is opposite of the running back. Now we have that 1 technique, defensive end. All right, we got 57, 52, and then we got 31 on the line of scrimmage. So it's made it where we couldn't run the same side inside zone. All right, so now we got a combination block working to 57. He has the block man. Then we get the combination block between tackle and tight end working up to 52. All right, so here we go. They got us on this one. It wasn't as productive, but those are 2 different ways that you can run inside zone.
Yeah, this is one of the things I loved about playing left guard, especially when you were in there.
Yeah.
We were in a right-handed team, so we always saw an over front, and I just had that shade on me.
Yeah.
And so it was like I didn't really have a responsibility to myself. I could help here and then go clean somebody up. So that was like one of my favorite things to do. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, and I was always looking for you.
Yeah, and then when they moved me to right guard down the road, I was always covered up. I'm like, football's so hard. Football's so hard when you just have to block somebody every time.
Yeah, because you're getting the 3 technique every time.
Every time.
You're getting the 3 technique 9 times out of 10. You're getting the 3 technique, and you know you're either gonna have to block him, man, because you don't have much help.
You can't call for help.
No, you're out there. So the right guard is the island
Of the inside.
of the inside. The left tackle is the island on the outside.
Generally with a right-handed team and in a defense that plays match to that.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
I thought left guard was so easy. Probably the easiest spot on the O-line.
Wow, because you always have help.
Yeah.
You always have help, especially if
you're the helper.
Yeah, you're the help.
You're the helper.
Yeah, because you never leave the center. And then once you know that the center's on lock, I'm looking for you to come
exactly.
clean
You
anybody
come clean
up.
somebody
You know, because I know if that's what made and that's why I try to tell people. A tackle is only as good as the guy that's inside of him. So I always tell people all the time, I'm like, yeah, you have to have a mighty wingman. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to get bull rush, I know that once you're good, and once you take that one technique, you're coming to clean him up, and that made my game so much easier, man. That's why I enjoy it. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
This is my way of saying thank you.
Those are my highlights. That was my pleasure.
Yes, thank
it was
you.
my pleasure. Let's do it.
All right, so I can pronounce that one. So this is a Penswood Pinot Noir. This is a 2019. All right. So we're gonna get into that.
How'd you guys come up with the name Penswoods? Just
It was a good question. I think we should have asked Gino.
Gino?
I think the William Penn and all the history about this specific location and all the trust
Yeah.
that they put in place. All these areas should have been devolved to agriculture and all the preservation of the land. And what a better thing than
Penn.
mine to preserve land.
Right.
Yeah.
We planned, in Abruzzo where I'm from, we planned for the next generation over. So Gino did the same, but we renovated this vineyard. It was only 5 acres, and we planted more for us to farm, and so giving a generation, like an income that is not just money, but something you can work. If you work hard, you get more.
Yeah.
If you don't work, if you don't like to put your sweat down, like food, like sports.
Sweat equity.
You gotta, that's right. If you don't push hard, you're gonna get very little.
Yeah.
This is what we were talking about last week. It's a
Yeah.
labor of love.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta bust your ass, and you can't do it with the thoughts of being rich. You have to love what you do.
Yeah. And that's what you find a lot of times when you speak to people that's about wine, man, the passion and that goes into it. It's not just, you're not just doing something. You do something that you really love. It's something that you really enjoy, and it's something that you really, you're passionate about it. And that's awesome.
A little more body to this one than we've tasted with the whites, obviously.
Yeah. But I like it, though. It's still, again, it's not, because sometimes, even though I've had Pinots sometimes, well, there's some Merlots that are a little heavy. Pinots are a little bit more fruitier, a little bit more lighter. So I kind of like this one. I really like this one. It's not that heavy.
Yeah. It tastes good.
Yeah.
I like this one. I could see drinking this with a nice steak or really any type of meal.
Yeah. Now, so when it comes to pairing wines with food, do you have that in mind when you're making stuff, or do you kind of just,
I usually don't.
Yeah, no.
My job is to preserve the vintage. It means don't overdo it. Just make sure if it was a cold vintage and we only achieve so much sugar into the grapes, you can make 14.5% alcohol wine just adding sugar. If it was a light vintage, you're gonna make light wine.
One thing I'm learning about wines is it's kind of like there's a seat for every butt. If you don't like something, somebody else probably loves that. It's
Yeah.
somebody else's favorite. So each wine has to kind of be treated as its individual and not try to turn it into something that somebody else is gonna like. You just kind of take the wine, treat it how it's supposed to be treated.
Yeah.
And then somebody that loves that wine will find it.
We'll find it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that.
It's almost like an energy out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all have a wine that's calling us.
Yeah.
We just have many wines that are calling us.
Yeah, we have a lot of wines that, I'm pretty open to all of them,
They've been great so far.
Yeah,
I'm curious if there's ever going to be a wine that we taste on this whole journey where we're like, nope, that's gross. I can't do it.
No, I don't think so, man, because I love wine, and I just love it, the different flavors that you find. I'm not a big beer guy. And now that I've gotten older, I've kind of laid off the hard liquor, so I'm more of a wine guy. I like the vibe. I like the,
It's a mature.
Yeah,
drink.
you know what I'm saying? I drink coffee now in the morning sometimes.
Sometimes?
Sometimes.
Oh man, I'm coffee every morning.
Yeah, sometimes. I might have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And,
Are you an espresso guy or a coffee guy?
I'm a coffee guy.
To me, espresso is kind of like a good wine, right? You really taste the bean, the full flavor of the coffee. I mean, I don't drink espresso every morning. I try to turn it into like a special thing. I drink
Okay.
coffee every morning.
Okay,
'Cause it's
yeah.
like, I enjoy drinking a hot drink in the morning.
Okay.
Also gets me up and going. But like, if you go to Europe and stuff like that, espresso is kind of the only thing you'll find. You won't find a cup of coffee. You'll have to ask for Americano, where they basically take a shot and add a bunch of hot water to it.
So the espresso is when you're drinking like a shot of coffee, like it's a very small cup.
It's concentrated.
You're shooting coffee.
Yeah, you're shooting coffee straight into the
Oh,
veins.
man, like no, I'm
Give
good,
it to
man.
me.
I like to, let me enjoy my cup.
Are you a coffee guy or an espresso guy?
I'm probably just like you.
An espresso guy. I mean, but
Well, I do
he's
it.
from Italy.
That's what I'm saying.
But being here,
There's many years of practice there.
I enjoy the big cup of coffee because my day is long, so I try to buy every 24 ounces.
Yeah.
I'm going all day. 'Cause I'm not
Couple
doing-
cups of coffee. Yeah.
I'm not doing all at once.
Yeah. How would the game be if because you go back and you look at all right, how the offensive guys play, and how even offensive linemen playing, and a defensive lineman play, makes a big play. Let's say a defensive player makes a big play, and they celebrate all this celebration.
Yes.
You
I
know,
mean,
awful-
we're used to that, watching the celebration.
Yeah, they have all this celebration.
Somebody
that happens.
overthrows the wide receiver.
Yeah,
the DBs are, no
the
way.
DBs
not
are no
around me."
way. They give you the Matumbo, no finger.
Yeah.
How would the game be if offensive linemen celebrated every play?
Every block.
Oh yeah, like if you had every combination block, we just owned you. The whole,
feel
the
like-
body, head tap.
I feel like
The game would
would-
take forever.
well, we would get called for more taunting penalties also.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because to be honest, if you wanted to celebrate without taunting as an offensive lineman victory, you'd look like a fool walking off away from everybody, like
Yeah, walking up.
getting
Yeah,
the crowd into
I
it.
just ran him by the quarterback. Like if I ran the DN by the quarterback,
That's a
and
win.
That's a win. So
a
should
win.
I give the People's Champ belt?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it should. I think
Well, I
that's
don't know. I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the whole flashiness. It's not really.
Exactly. It's not in our
thing.
nature.
It's not our hat.
Yeah, it's not
not a hat
us.
to wear.
Yeah, no, we're usually guys that are abiding by the dress code that the NFL has provided.
100%.
Yeah, that the knees and socks and everything need to,
Oh, these are the socks that I have to wear?
Yeah,
You got it, sir.
All right, cool, no problem. All right, these are the shoes I have to wear. All right, no
I
problem.
felt restricted.
Yeah.
I threw a couple high whites in there once in a while, or all blacks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just to kind of throw a little spice on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No streamers.
Flares, the badges, lots of flair.
Would the offensive lineman wear a streamer? Like the whole, thing?
Oh, man. A center.
Yeah, well, the center uses the rag.
Quarterback
but-
would use it.
Yeah,
probably.
but no, I'm talking about the streamers where it's like when you're
Yeah,
like
like
I would
the
love to
Merton
see.
Hank streamers.
I would love to see Kelsey out on the block with streamers.
Streamers just flowing behind him. Oh, that'd be great. And then you get Big Runyon to find him, right?
Yeah, Runyon would find him.
Yeah, Runyon would find Kelsey for having streamers.
For having streamers.
We should see how far we can push that envelope.
Yeah, let's see who we can get to wear a streamer. I think if anyone could wear a streamer, it should be Kelsey, especially when he pulls.
He would be able to pull it off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why
It would
not?
look great.
Yeah.
What color streamers are we talking? Team colors?
Oh yeah, it has to be. But if they're wearing like a white jersey, it has to be black. It has to be. No, it has to be white because
Yeah, I like
let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
With
when it's hanging down the sides, you don't notice it.
Yeah, but when he's running,
it looks
when he
he's got,
catches wind, and it's
extra
like
speed lines behind him.
okay,
I can
so-
get down with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think offensive linemen should wear streamers, and then all right. So once we get past the streamers, then every now and then,
That
Showboat.
takes care of the showboating. The streamers.
streamers would balance it out.
You're okay with the showboating on top of the streamers?
I think it just adds to it.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
have a game.
Well, we got to put some stipulations on the showboating. Are you putting the guy flat on his back, or are you just running by the quarterback?
I think any block, because that's what
Any
defensive
block.
players
okay,
do.
So a victory.
Yeah, any victory.
If you get a plus on the play,
Yeah.
not a negative,
Yeah.
not a zero, but
Yeah.
a plus,
Yeah.
you are allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you get a pancake block, then you should definitely body him, where you do the whole tapping of the head. That should happen. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody come get him.
Yeah, I just bodied him. I just put him on his back, because that's what happens. A defensive player, you can have your foot on their throat for 78 plays. That one play he beats you, oh my God. It's, I am Maximus. I am the greatest to ever put on this uniform. Everybody look at me.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Also, it goes against everything we talked about earlier about, like,
Yes, it does.
team mantra,
Yeah.
chugging forward, which
Yeah.
kind of wants me to, let's reel this back into the game for a minute.
Okay.
The offense. On the offensive line, they had great plays, very flashy stuff here and there. We gave up a sack. We talked about that earlier. Cam got hurt. Great to see Landon back out there. Opeta comes in, fills in, does a great job. Apparently is their highest graded pass blocker
Yeah.
for the game. Not run blocker, but highest graded pass blocker, which is great to hear when you have a guy been there backing up. So he's a proven player. Love that. Gives us a great sigh of relief moving forward in case anything happens. I talked to Cam after the game. He didn't seem too concerned about it. It's like a midfoot thing.
Okay.
But maybe he's back this week, maybe he's not. Who knows how long those things
Sweet
take.
to week.
Yeah. But we're winning games. And on offense, I think that, Jalen played great. I think he probably had his best game this year. But it still wasn't, like, satisfying for all the Eagles fans to, like, watch them go out there and just march and dominate and be like, this is them. This is who we thought they were. You know what I mean? But I think that that's what you're talking about. Like, they're not a flashy team. They will have some nice flash plays and enjoy them when they come, but their main focus is exactly what my guy Jalen Hurts says. Like, the main thing is the main thing, and that's winning, right? Like,
That's it.
And that's what they're trying to just measure themselves at after every game. Did they win?
Yep.
Yes. We did what it took to win, and in the NFL, that's a great thing.
Was it flashy? No.
No.
We got to win. When you win the overtime, you got to win.
So let's talk about A.J. Brown.
Yes.
Where do you think his mentality is at right now? Is he happy with what's going on? He's just a competitor, and that's what you're seeing come out there, or is there some other stuff that's making him?
I like A.J. Brown's
Demeanor.
I love the way he plays the game.
I do too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like his aggressiveness. I even like, because you don't usually see that a lot out of
Like the
receiver
taunting type
and
thing?
the taunting. You know what? He and the DB had some moments.
Yeah, I don't know.
There
I
were some
don't care.
times where
That's
they,
competitor in him.
yeah, and there were some elbows going back and forth. You'll see put a shoulder into him to let him know, like, hey, I'm here, or whatever the situation is. But I like the way he's like a running back at receiver. He's like
He's a monster, dude.
dude, he's a monster. And he has that mentality where I am out here to dominate you, and he's not a typical receiver when you look at him out there just because of how he's built, the way he plays the game, his physicality, and I think he even embodies that the way his demeanor.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing about him and Devontae, I feel like, is that they're perfect complements to each other because it's not like either one can do something the other one can't do, but they're just totally different receivers. They can do all the things. They're great, and they complement each other well because if you're sending somebody deep, you send somebody across the middle. Like, they just complement each other well. You don't have to pick one to be the deep threat every time. You don't have to pick one to go across the middle. You don't have to pick one to make an acrobatic catch over a DB.
Yeah.
They can both do it.
Man, and then when you even look at the pass that Devontae Smith, man, that one play that going into the halftime, Devontae Smith catches this big ball. And it was a crazy pass. And amazing catch over these defenders. And he gets up, no showboating, no,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Run the play.
No tapping his head. I just bodied him.
Yeah.
You know what? We're limited on time. Here, referee, here's the ball. I got to get lined
Run
up for the
the play.
next play. Hurry up, lineman. Because usually offensive linemen, we're kind of like, hold on, wait a minute. Were any penalties? Oh, now I got to jog 30 yards. Okay, let's get set. You know what I'm saying? Here we go, and then we're off to the next play. But there was no showboating, no celebrating. This is the type of play that y'all brought me here to make. I just made it. It's expected. Here, referee, here's the ball. Let's get lined
But
up.
also, that's just football IQ. You know what I mean? Like, he knows he's not caught up in that play, that success he just had. He understands the clock, where it's at in the game. The fact that play might get challenged. Like, hey, everybody just get up here and let's run a play. You know what I mean? It just shows another level of football IQ, which I think speaks to the coaches. Because, like, the majority of your players that come in to the NFL, I don't know if the football IQ is that high, at least when we were playing. The football IQ is something that I think that specific coaching staffs and specific position coaches try to like improve in their players.
Absolutely.
And the players have to be willing to adapt and want to be smarter football players and just understand the game better. And I think that you're seeing that here.
Yeah,
Really.
I think that definitely is something. And then I think Coach Sirianni, for whatever energy is lacking, hey, what's up, buddy? Whatever energy is lacking in the players, he definitely embodies all of it over on the sideline. So he's like, you know what? You guys just make plays and do your thing. I'm going to be the fire over here.
I'll be Wolverine.
Yeah, I will be the Wolverine.
I'll be Wolverine.
Yes.
I could be Weapon X from over here.
Yes.
Cameras find me.
Yes.
I'll do the funny faces and get the whole thing going on.
Yeah.
He's taking that role.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with that.
okay
As
with
long
the
as
coach
these guys
being
are
the
making plays, man. That's awesome. Hold on, let's get another wine. Let's get
What
another
are we
wine.
at now? We got a little.
All right. So we got Penn's Woods, a proprietor preserve.
What's the dog's name?
Valentina.
Valentina.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the proprietor reserve.
the shoe blend.
All right.
So let's talk about the proprietor reserve. Are you the proprietor or that's Gina?
That's Gino.
Gino is a
So this is
proprietor.
his specialty wine. That's what that kind of translates to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this one is a blend of all most of the red varietal that we farm in this vineyard. Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc.
It's okay.
So proprietor is a blend, the red varietal that we grow in the specific vineyard. It has a Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, and Carmine. Every year changes a little bit because of the different vintage, different flavor, different ripening of the grapes. The blend is made after all these grapes have been fermented.
Question off of what you just said. The blends, if I understood you there, the wine is made and then it's blended afterwards.
Yes.
Do you ever blend wines together for that fermentation process, and would that change it completely, or?
So a blend is blending the wine after fermentation. Ouvage, which is French.
Okay.
You pretty much you take all the grapes like we did in the rosé. So you pick in the same day Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Carmine, and Merlot, and you ferment in the same bed.
So if you ever hear a blend on a bottle, the wines were made, and then they mixed a certain amounts to get the actual taste that they want.
Yes,
Gotcha. Okay.
I usually prefer red blends.
Red blends.
I usually prefer
Are there a
red
lot of white
blends.
blends?
We do one white blend. It's called Wildflower White, which is a blend of all the whites that we have.
Uh-huh.
Same thing in different percentages,
Okay.
just to have all the same profile. And that one is it's not exactly a blend because for the white vinification, you don't ferment with the skin.
I like that.
Yeah.
This is, I would say, after our education today, a little bigger bodied.
Okay.
You switch it around, you feel it hanging on your cheeks and your lips a little bit more. Almost like a
Astringent?
like a peppery, astringent. I guess, is that the alcohol in it or something? It's just kind of like hanging.
Yeah.
Tannins.
Yeah, the tannins.
Okay.
So if you switch it around, you'll feel it a little more than the earlier ones. You know, it kind of makes all the walls of your mouth come alive.
Yeah. Okay.
You feeling that?
Yeah.
No.
No, not really. I don't like the way you described it, but it's cool. I like it. When we're talking wine.
Well, the way he described body of wine,
Yeah.
way better than what I had before the show. I was trying to say, create like a little cup with your tongue and weigh the wine out on your tongue scale.
Yeah. No, I was.
No,
I
if it
don't like
lingers or if it doesn't linger.
Yeah. I like the way he explained it a lot better than you talking about cupping your tongue. And no, that was not. Yeah. But it's cool. All right.
Education process.
Yeah, it's a process.
Describing football or
We're
something.
growing.
Yeah.
We're growing.
We're growing.
All right. Where are we going this week? What's the matchup?
Who we got? The Rams.
I think we're going to LA, right?
Yeah, we're going out to LA. All right. So
Aaron Donald.
you got Aaron Donald.
They probably have to take a little focus on him.
You know what?
Let me tell you, this is perfect timing for it. I have a little Aaron Donald story.
Okay.
You know what we were talking about earlier, how everybody gets got?
Yeah. Oh no. Aaron Donald didn't do you, did he?
This is late in my career.
Okay.
This is when I was in Indianapolis.
'Cause you was getting older.
I was at the Colts.
Because normally, if you were in your younger years, you would have did him.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I was a little long in the tooth, as
Okay.
they would say. We're talking dog.
Uh-huh.
I was in Indy playing for the Colts.
Mm.
I don't even know. It might have been a preseason game against the Rams, and Aaron Donald was young, and we're all like, young
Full of
guys.
energy, too.
Yeah, young guys.
Yeah.
We'll let him know what's up, you know. And I know that you went down to Jacksonville when you were done playing here. So was there any? Did you have any kind of?
Don't try to put this on me. Let's
No,
keep
I'm
the
not.
focus on you
Yeah,
right now.
the focus is all on me. But was there any delay in learning like the cadence?
Yes,
like, the
absolutely.
online like play calls, because when you're somewhere for 10 years,
Yeah,
like,
you get
that
used
shit
to a
gets
certain,
ingrained
yeah.
into you. And so you're relearning all this stuff.
So you were laid off the ball.
But I was completely laid off the ball. But like,
Okay, so all
the
right.
thing was happening all in practice.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm getting my information late. It's processing late. Probably not getting it late.
Yeah.
But it's processing late because I haven't been there forever, right?
Yeah.
So I got Aaron Donald lined up against me, and we're doing a little inside zone to the right, you know, and like we were talking about. I think I was right guard. He was the 3 technique. And just manned up with him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, you know how hectic it gets down there down on the line when the time's winding down, and I'm like, what do we got? Are you coming with me? Are you coming with me? Oh shit! Oh, the ball snapped. And then like you just get a step in the ground, and Aaron Donald just gave me a whole face of him, drove me back like 3 yards, and made a tackle for a loss. It was like, I think that might have been the moment everybody looked at me and was like, yeah, Herman's is done.
just a look of disappointment. Everybody's calling you uncle now.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, uncle.
Pops. Hey.
I mean, it happens. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you go somewhere else and you've been used to a certain style of cadence, you know, that you've been used to a certain rhythm, and now it's different. And then you have all these calls that are different. And like, I don't think a lot of people understand like the muscle memory that happens with an offensive line player, you know, and now all of a sudden you're in a different situation. The cadence is different. The calls are
You
different.
can't waste any time on processing.
No, because I mean, you only have, like, once he makes the mic call, you know, you have Blue 88 to make a decision.
Now, if somebody across the line was also confused, that might give you a little bit of time.
That would help.
To adjust or whatever.
But instead, you got young Aaron Donald.
They were like,
full
hey,
of energy.
Mr. Aaron Donald, this is your gap. Don't give up this gap and beat this man off the ball.
Okay, and he did that.
And he accomplished. He accomplished his duty. I'm sure
Yeah.
we could probably find that clip somewhere. But
But it was in practice, all right?
no, that was in.
Oh, it was in a
might have been
game.
a preseason game, but it was in a game.
Oh, okay.
It was in a game. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
embarrassing.
So we could probably dig through the archives and find that.
Well,
You know what? My worst
You can keep it buried.
–
Being buried.
getting done in was against Dallas one year.
This was here in Philly.
Yeah, no, we played in Dallas.
Right, but you were playing.
Yeah, I was playing for Philly, and we played in Dallas. I think Harry Franley was the center at the time. And, you know, we were on silent count, you know. So that means I got to look at the center's head movement and everything. So, you know, we're down there. And then I'm looking down at Hank's head, and I'm like, hey, man, hold on, what was the call? And he's yelling something, and I'm like, hold on, what was the call? I'm not sure what's going on. And next thing you know, I saw the ball snap. And as a tackle, you never want to see the ball snap. Because if you see the ball snap, you're in trouble.
Unless they're running a TE.
Yeah,
Help
you're
them out
hoping that they're running a T.
Exactly.
Like, please give me a
I'm
game.
dragging the 3 technique.
Yeah,
Yeah, looking inside.
yeah, because I have help somewhere. But I saw the ball snap. And when I turned and I found my defensive end, it was the dude that used to do the "You Must Protect These House." When Under Armour first came out, he was full of biceps and everything.
Who was that?
I don't know his name. I tried to forget it. You know,
Was it
just
Maryland guy?
yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know.
Probably if he was.
I don't know. I burned it out of my brain, his name and everything, you know, but
We should find him.
No, we should not. He came with a bull rush, and I mean this bull ruch was
Something fierce.
oh, it was fierce. And all I could do was just, as I was laying on my neck and my back, trying to like grab his
him
leg.
so he
You know what
doesn't
I'm
go
saying?
any
Like, I'm trying to grab his
I will
leg.
protect you.
Yes. I'm trying to trip him up from hitting the quarterback, hitting 5, because I mean he just ran through me. So I'm just, and this was back when they was doing
If
got
it doesn't
jacked
get a
up.
sack, it won't be a highlight.
Yeah, I mean if it's not, because it was right after this was during the time that they were doing that jacked up,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So like he ran through me, and I'm trying to like grab his ankle to slow him down, and I got the holding call as well. But you know, You know, and I went, and as soon as we got home off the plane, I went and I turned on my TV and I was like, you know what? I hope I didn't make jacked up. But I got a lot of calls from my homies like,
Yeah,
dog.
they'll let you know, right?
Oh yeah,
They'll
your
let
homies.
you know.
Oh yeah, dog. Like that's been watching the game. He's like, dog, what? You know.
And if they won't clown you, they're not really your homies.
Yeah, they're not your friends. You know. And they called me and they were like, dude, like really? That what happened? And I'm pretty sure they showed it in slow motion. It was an instant replay. You know. And that's
Didn't have a good wingman there.
No, I did not have a good wingman. I did not have a good wingman.
I don't know. Artist, maybe?
I think it was.
Artist was a good wingman.
Yeah, he was good. But yeah, on that particular play, it was all me.
Yeah.
The wingman wouldn't have helped. I was late off the ball.
Moral of the story is Jordan Mailata, everybody gets got.
Everybody gets got.
It's all about how you come back from
Yeah, it's all about how you bounce back. So we had to go to some Moscato.
So the Moscato is generally cold, right?
Yes, which is perfect.
Thank you, sir.
For
Cold, a little effervescence.
Oh, a little bubbly? A little bit? You guys, so...
I'm sorry, I don't
Is it
pour,
carbonated?
Well, the Moscato is the first wine being fermented.
Or the ferment is what gives it the bubbles?
Yeah, so whatever, we stop the fermentation with the filter pretty much. And as soon as it comes off the filter, it gets chilled down to -2 Celsius. So all the CO2 from the fermentation kind of stays in. And through the process, it never gets warm, so the CO2 from the fermentation kind of like stays inside the wine and goes to the bottle.
If there's some bubbles in the wine, does that make it lighter bodied or heavier bodied?
So the carbonation, like a carbonic acid, the CO2 usually has a perception of acidity, so makes it fresher.
Okay.
At the same time, the bubble can make it a little more comforting. You know?
okay.
But usually the CO2 makes it fresher.
Yeah.
Sweet, I mean, Coca-Cola has a lot of.
It's a great
soda.
bouquet.
Yeah, a great bouquet.
There's a lot of sweet. With the carbonation, they appear a bit dry.
Okay.
Well, dry, I mean like with a little sugar.
Right.
It's
like
not
grape-
too
it's like
sweet.
grape juice.
Yeah, but it's not
No,
like
it's not like-
over
it's not like-
sweet. It's
not
like a
kid grape
really
juice.
yeah.
It's not like grape juice you would find in a huge bottle and give to your kids, but it's delicious.
Yeah, this is
This is delicious. Are you supposed to put the ABV on the bottle?
oh, you have to.
You have to?
Yeah.
There's some beers I can't find it on.
Beers might be a little different. It might be the different rules, but I think for wine you have to, right?
They're supposed to.
Because I mean, for it to be considered a table wine, it has to be under 14%.
I don't know about that, but
Uh.
I think any alcoholic beverage should have that.
You know what? Okay, so here's my philosophy when it comes to that.
I sidetracked us earlier with my story.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Here's my philosophy when it comes to that. You should never slide the line to accommodate one particular player, because if so, then you expose yourself in other ways.
You're also admitting my players aren't as good as that player.
Yeah, so I don't want, and I think that one of the things, as even as an offensive line coach, you should train your guys to handle anybody one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? And that's just you, and you should give them that confidence that they can block anybody one-on-one. And once you start sliding your line for a particular player, then you expose yourself. And like when you're talking about sliding a line, it's all about which way the center goes.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. They be like, oh yeah, they slid the line.
Yeah, it basically just tells you like which side the center decided to block from.
Yeah.
If he's blocking towards his shade, generally he's the only one coming. If he's blocking away from his shade, he's got to bring the backside guard with him. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like it's not this whole thing where like we left the D end open because we were sliding toward this guy,
Yeah, no,
and
it's
that's
not.
just gap protection.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some things like that that are kind of stupid.
You might have a full slide, but
Full
most
slide
of the
chop,
time,
full slide.
yeah, full slide. And if we do a full slide, like things are really bad. But then that means that
Well,
you're
it's also a quick play if that's the
yeah,
case.
and then you're putting the running back because you're putting the running back on the
the
defensive
D
end, you know,
right. Or a tight end.
or the
something
tight
like
end.
that,
So
yeah.
you don't want to do that, you know. So when it comes to slide protection, I don't think a lot of people understand that. Even though you have a slide side and then you have a man side. So if the center is sliding left, the right side is usually man. You know what I'm saying? If the center is sliding right, the left side is man. Then so that's pretty much.
If I was a defensive coordinator and had a player like Aaron Donald on the squad, I would blitz away from Donald's side.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Because you know he's going to
Well,
get the
not
man
blitz
side.
every time, but I would send all the heat that I sent would be away from him.
Yeah, because you
he
know
gets
that the running back
attention.
has to take it.
And he gets that attention. You have to have a smart running back to be able to decipher through all the blitzes and stuff. We saw last week there was a couple times. I think there was one play where Lane looked like he had MDM and the back was supposed to just sift off of him. Lane ended up taking the inside guy and the back was inside too, and the guy came free off the edge. You know,
It happens.
It does happen, but you know that just shows like, bro, we were very special with Westbrook being on the team.
Oh yeah.
He understood protection. He wanted to understand protection. He understood that being a blocking back is going to set him apart from a lot of the backs in this league, especially as he was at running and catching and stuff like that. He could protect like no other.
Yeah, I think that, and that only helps when you have a running back that can get out there and protect. Now, on that particular play, if the running back is to the same side that you're doing a dual read on, there's a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you got a dual read at right tackle and Lane Johnson is like, you have to pick. If Lane Johnson, if you
It
have
should
a
be
dual,
2 for 2. If the
yeah,
back's
you
over
can't
there.
have 2 for
Unless
2.
he's just trying to find extra work. Because
Yeah.
nothing came play.
Yeah. So then, so in that case, Lane should have stayed on the DN. I want my running back
back
taking on the
side.
linebacker. I don't want you doing a dual read and going in to take the linebacker and then putting my running back on the defensive end.
Right.
That's
not a good
trouble.
matchup. That's not a good
That's not a
matchup.
good
Unless it's a
matchup.
quick throw, it's not a good matchup.
Not a good matchup at all.
Yeah. So we're not going to slide to Aaron Donald. We need to stick to what we're good at.
Yeah.
Or take what they give us.
Take what they give us. I think, and
That's what
then
we
one
do.
of the things that I think that this offense is good at, man, and they just, take what they give us. Run what, if they want to play the rules of the game, then run inside. I think this team is better when it comes to inside zone runs just because you can get at least 2 combination blocks. And that's in Coach Stoutland's wheelhouse, man. When you're talking about combination blocks, that's what he's really good at. And I think that once you can stay in that, this team can only soar, man. So I think this is another W. Now I did say that they should have thrown the first pass to Smith. Now the first pass, the play
So
was
you
a pass.
predicted that.
I predicted that,
Yes.
and then it didn't. It
And
ended up
yeah,
going
right.
to Swift. It was a check down.
Happens, dude.
Yeah.
They were probably trying to go.
They were trying to go to Smith.
You know they were.
So we were kind of partially right.
covered up. You were right.
Yeah, we were right.
You were right.
But all right. So who you think the first pass is going to go to this week?
This week, it's a Karras.
Because I mean, you just had, do you put AJ Brown on punishment
No, you don't put anybody on punishment.
for his
You hit them with
taunting?
what they're not expecting.
All right. So who gets the first pass?
It's a Karras.
Oh, it's a Karras?
It's a Karras.
Okay, I
Yeah.
like that.
The St. Joe's prep guy.
Yeah, I
Right?
like that.
Bro, I was thinking about this the other day. How cool is it that these guys played together in high school?
High school.
And now they're playing for their hometown team at a professional level.
That is pretty awesome, dude.
I couldn't imagine.
That's got to be really awesome, man. Yeah, that's pretty
Full
awesome.
circle type shit.
Yeah, that's real awesome right there. And then I just went and watched them when they played on my IMG the other day. I mean, a couple weeks ago. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
Battle
they-
at the
how did
Beach.
they do?
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, IMG won.
IMG's,
I mean,
yeah.
it's
What are you
IMG.
going to do?
They recruit
pretty good
nationwide.
class there.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool program. It's different today.
We need to talk to Davide, reel in some of the process about this stuff. We got a lot of information already with him.
Yeah.
We'll spend a few minutes with him right now, just talking about what makes them special, and looking forward to this week's game.
Yeah.
Trey,
Yeah, man.
I think it's another good week between the vines.
Yeah, another
Educate
good
the
week in
people.
between the vines, man. Jake Elliott, take us home.
Take us home. Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
All right, Davide is what's your title? Official title here?
The winemaker.
Winemaker, vineyard manager. And we've already tasted all of his wines that he's made. Not every one, I imagine you have a couple, but these are the selection that he brought out, and they are delicious. Going to give us a little insight into the process, but first we'll do a little bit of cheers.
Yeah, cheers, man. Yes, cheers. Thank you. Yeah.
So this is the rosé we're drinking, which Davide chose to drink. I don't know if it's because it's such a beautiful sunny day, or if this is just his favorite.
Rosé is one of my favorites. I'm gonna take it off from a few things you guys said. Hard work and making history. Hard work because this is all about energy. Because you have to be here, you have to be there for the wines, and you have to care, you have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, somebody else is gonna love it. And the second thing is the dedication that you gotta give it. Making history is because you want to be the best. You want to, you always want to push. If you today you did 10, tomorrow you want to do, you want to do 11.
Yeah,
You
getting
you have
better
to-
every day.
Getting better. You always want to feel tired, but you know that you can push a little bit more because it's the stakes they're high, and you want to be the best. We want to make Pennsylvania be one of the wine region. I don't like to be called the second-class wine region. We work as harder than anybody else, and not a lot of people recognize us for what we do. And it's not for my job, for Rachel's job, Alexa, my wife, everybody that works in this company. They put 100%, and every day they push hard. Anyway,
Well, that's one of the things about this. It's a legacy you create. All the time and stuff you put in, like these vines will be here long after we are if they're taken care of properly, and they can last generations. I already saw some vines over here that were here for 40 years.
absolutely.
That's impressive. That's not just one man showing up and deciding to grow grapes one day and then having a 40-year-old vine. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's something that's going to be here after us. So if you take care of it, nurture it, it's going to last and provide that much more.
Yeah, what I learned from the culture where I come from, and
Which is
from Italy, from Abruzzo, Center Italy, is you have to learn your heart. This one is a very artisanal product. You have to work with your hand. You have to work with all that you know. You got to use your hands, your smell, your taste. So learn your heart. So it will be the know-how. Make other people do what you want them to do, because you can do all of it. You have to tell other
you
people
have
how
to have
do
other
it.
people help. It's too
And
much for
also-
one man.
Exactly. And also, you have to tell people what you do. So to kind of like put your face out there and
To
show
advertise,
this-
man.
Yeah, advertise. So those are three very important things that you have to take care of it. And of course, the vines. When you plant the vines, you treat them well. It lasts like 50, 100 years,
Yeah.
which is looking for the next future generations.
Yeah, 100%.
Uh,
So let me ask you this. When you guys get your vines, I know on this farm we had spoke that there was an owner that was growing grapes here on this farm before we arrived, before Pennswoods was here established. So they inherited some grapes that were already in the ground. You've added other grapes. When you add those grapes, we learned last week that it takes 8 years to get, maybe from seed, to get a vine up and growing and producing like you really want it to. Do you guys transport vines in? Is that the easier way to do it? Can you get like grown vines already to bring them in and make it start working and stuff like that?
Usually you can get a vine that is called bench grafted, which will be from a nursery. They're nursery in East Coast, they're nursery in West Coast, from California all the way out to Washington State. Though they're bench grafted, they're pretty much a vine that's been grown in soil for a few years. Grafted because they have a rootstock. Rootstock is everything that is like below the graft union down to the ground. Usually it can be 3309, 1114. They have names, and every soil.
Are those different varietals? So you're
The
talking about?
rootstock, yeah, they're different varieties. You put them in the ground just to better manage your vigor.
Okay.
So what you graft on top that comes from the nursery is your varietal. It's still like we have Vitis vinifera. It can be Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc. All the varietal that we grow is Vitis vinifera, which is the highest quality grapes that's ever been farmed. I mean, for century, man kind of like selected. Found those grapes and said, "Oh, I like this vine. I'm going to propagate this vine." So for years and years, century, humans have been like collecting this budwood, this material, and carry on. So today, if you want to plant a vineyard, you can go to a nursery and
And you get
kinda
stockwood?
yeah. You get to the vines. There's like a 3-year-old vine. You put them in the ground, and after 5 to let's say 5 years, you can get like a decent crop for you to actually make a little bit of wine that it will be decent.
So what you're saying is you could put the stock crop in the ground, have the roots established, and then you can graft any type of variety on there.
Yes, yeah.
And that's what most people do to get started up.
Yeah, yeah. You
Wow.
buy the vines that's already been grafted.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
You buy the Merlot, clone, let's say one
Yeah.
on 3309. Or that will be the rootstock.
Okay.
So, and there are many different rootstock that they'll tell you, well, look, you're a very sandy soil. You probably want to go with this other than this one because
Okay.
you want a canopy that support your grapes. In few words, if you have a huge canopy, you can have a lot of grapes, but you won't have a very balanced canopy. If you see these vines, the amount of square footage of green leaves, it's very proportionate to the amount of grapes you get, because you want those grapes to ripe on you know, you don't want to ripe too quick, not taking too long. So you
Right.
have that right balance, and you achieve that with rootstock, with plant density, which how many plants you put per acre,
Okay.
with the cover crop under the vines, like managing if you have grass, if you bare soil,
Right.
all this will make affect the canopy. Like if you have grass like this, it creates competition inside the vineyard for nutrient. So you actually have like a smaller plant. Of course you have to reduce the amount of grapes for a plant, and that canopy supports your grapes.
Okay.
Tell us something special that you think Pennswood sets Pennswood's wine apart from other wineries, and we're in Chester County, right?
Yeah.
In Chester County.
Well, we're full dedicated to grow our own grapes, to make our
So you
own.
don't bring any in when you're making your own wines?
So if we buy grapes, will be from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And right now we produce 95% of the grapes that we put them in the bottle.
Okay.
The rest,
Keystone committed, we call that. All from
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
all from Pennsylvania.
That's good.
Because we have to support our industry, and the only way to support our industry is telling people this comes from here, it's local, and we can do this and create a legacy.
Yeah.
Create a brand, say we can do this, Pennsylvania can do this, because if we can do it, anybody can do it. And it's very important that the people recognize inside the wine the place where they come from, and this one is our one of our, we're special because of this. And also, well, Gino, the owner that started this winery over 20 years ago, had a long experience in winemaking. All the equipment, the technology that we source come from Europe, and with that we have a lot of people that work in Europe that give us like tips how to do things.
You got the
Okay.
nice connections, the nice network over
Yes.
there, right?
So
well,
sometimes
what better network to have than Europe?
Yeah.
sometimes it's that phone call when you're like, I'm not sure which way to go, and they can say, well, they have the history, and they'll
That's
tell.
worth its weight in gold right there.
That's right. You may go with you made the decision, but you want to have let's say
Somebody to bounce it off of, yeah.
Yeah.
You may go with your way anyway, but that phone call will kind of like
And if they reassure you that your way is the right way, then you're like, my man.
Perfect.
Exactly. Do you find that there's any certain types of grapes that are easier to grow here than others, or are they just all, you got to treat them however they need to be treated?
I would say that they all have their easy part and they're kind of hard to handle. Behind us is Sauvignon Blanc. During the year, it's the easiest to manage.
You've already harvested, right?
They're already harvested.
Yeah.
There's good observation, so it gets harvested very, very, let's say
Early
first
in the
one,
fall?
Early.
Okay.
So you don't have to extend. You don't have to go towards the fall, so you don't have disease pressure as much as other disease. It's good. The second thing, it goes straight between the wires. You have a very little, I don't say almost nothing, but very small amount of hours for acre of labor
Okay.
dedicated to the
Chardonnay.
canopy.
Okay.
If you look at the Viognier,
You're talking about trimming and stuff like that,
trimming,
pruning?
to tucking
Yeah.
in, put all the shoot inside, the leaf pulling.
Yeah.
Very, you can mechanize, you can pull the
Laborious.
leaves with machine, just pull the leaves. If we talk about the Viognier or Pinot Noir, it just it's totally different ballgame. It requires a lot of more man hours.
Yeah.
Just because the shoots, they like to, kind of lazy, they don't want to lay down. And you got to go manually, like tucking them in and make sure they're straight up. You got to tie them. So every varietal has their pro and cons. If I would be starting a vineyard, I would go with something that would be like Chardonnay, Cabernet Franc, and even easier would be the Chambertin because they're easy to grow. They produce always like pretty balanced quantities, or kind of like an insurance that you always going to have like some grapes to work with. And Pinot Noir, I wouldn't start with Pinot because it's one of the difficult in the vineyard and in the winery. So
Okay.
it'll give you a headache throughout the whole process.
So if you had some land in Chester County and you were looking to start a vineyard, what grape would you suggest? Chardonnay?
Chardonnay, Cabernet Franc, and those that will be.
I could
That would be
I
the
could do
start.
Cab Franc. That'd be solid.
That would be start. If you want to explore inside Sauvignon Blanc, Viognier, you're gonna be starting to looking for more technology in the winery. just
Okay.
more, but Chardonnay, Cabernet Franc, you're
Okay.
you're safe because you have high, let's say, good production, good quality every year, and you don't have to really struggle too much.
Do you guys ever blend whites and reds together?
No, really.
Are there any wines that are like hey, let's do a combi platter, a poo-poo platter, where you're just throwing a bunch of reds and whites and everything like that together?
The Moscato Rose is the only one that actually have red grapes and white grapes together.
What's that one?
Moscato
Moscato Rose?
Yeah, Moscato Rose.
Okay.
Okay.
All
That
right.
one is the only one that actually take red grapes and white grapes.
Why is that? They just don't have the
Um,
same profiles to be able to make a nice wine?
No, I think it's very very possible. I come with what they teach us to school, even home
Tradition?
traditions. I know that's not.
No, you don't do that. There's a lot of things that transcend just because of tradition
Yeah.
and no reason at all.
Yeah.
Like I talked to my wife's grandmother about making sauce, and we call her Nonna, and she's Italian. She's from Catania, right?
Okay.
And she told me about how they make sauce, right? And sauce is just made with onions and tomatoes
Okay.
and salt,
Yep.
and that's pretty much it. That's sauce.
Yep.
And then if you were to make with garlic, that is what's the word I'm looking for? Stuff that you dip mozzarella sticks in marinara.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. So with garlic and tomatoes, it's a marinara. Onion and tomatoes, it's a sauce. I know that every family has their different,
Version of it,
variations
yeah.
of that, but like it's funny to say that you said like tradition. It's just tradition. You don't mix them.
Exactly. Like sometime we're straying like the family back home. They say no, this one is the only way.
And they're talking to you like, quit being New World. Stop it.
Don't ask questions.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is how it works.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Do you need me to fill you up?
of course.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You want some of this?
Yeah, rosé
Yeah.
is good.
This is awesome.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
So what do you think is your most,
Squeeze that bottle.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
go
let me
ahead
get the
and
rest
finish
of
that.
that out
Yeah, go ahead.
There you go.
what's the most rewarding thing for you about making wine?
Okay, the most rewarding thing. Well, days like today, they don't come very often. I mean, I'm very excited to have, two big men,
Yeah.
beside me and then asking me questions. And I learned so much today that, I have to, go back and, look at the football a little bit different. I get so much.
That's what happens when you talk to offensive linemen, though.
Yeah.
You hear the game totally different.
The passion that you guys
Yeah.
have, and how can you don't love something like that?
Well, people are attracted to passion. So
Yeah.
like you could be passionate about anything, and if you're talking to somebody about dominoes and you're like crazy passionate, you're talking about the different combinations or waiting to like lay down a domino while somebody, like people get into that. They get into something people are passionate about. So if you talk about something boring or whatever, they're not going to be into it. So we love talking to people that are passionate about things, and you're obviously passionate about wine.
Yeah, I forgot the question at this point. What do you?
What's the most rewarding thing for
Rewarding.
you about making grapes?
So the
Making wine.
today is the seeing people enjoy the wine
Yeah.
and living a good memory. When you buy a bottle of wine, that you're there, maybe you don't have time to taste. you just grab a bottle and it's a gamble. It's just a gamble because you
100%.
Yeah.
when you go
With
home,
that, I hope everybody likes this.
yeah, when you go home, you pop the bottle. You don't want to feel like a stupid.
Yeah.
When I want to make good wine because I want people
100%.
just take a bottle from the shop without knowing anything, go home and say, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want.
Or maybe it's not what I was expecting, but this is also a delicious wine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that one will be the most rewarding, and also make the Gina's kind of like give him he gave me the key of the winery in the sense and the vineyard. So now I'm the manager, the vineyard and the winery, and that one is big responsibility.
Yeah.
Because he made wine until I think it was 2012. Still give me inputs, and making him happy is it's kind of like my goal, because if he's not happy, I feel like I'm not up to
Yeah.
just not,
Because he's trusting your vision.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Anyone that's working, whenever you have someone that says, you know what, I trust your vision. I trust I'm giving you the keys to do what you do, and we will enjoy what you create. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
You're the quarterback. You're the franchise quarterback here.
Yes.
Okay.
Gino's the owner.
Yep.
He's trusting you with his franchise to give us a solid product and return in championships
Yes. And yes.
and great wine,
And great wines.
which is also known as great football.
Yeah.
That's right. Things that you remember.
Yeah. No, I
Way
mean,
to
that's-
tie it all in. That was awesome.
Yeah, we just wrap it all back around.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Relevance. Well, Davide, I appreciate that. Everything has been great. All your information, you're passionate about the wine. We love it. It comes forward in the taste. Everything about this is great. I appreciate it. Continue on your way, kicking ass, making great wine.
Making great wines.
Yep.
Awesome.
My
Yeah.
pleasure.
This has been a really good experience. I appreciate you. Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Yeah.
100%.
My pleasure. I loved it.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So that's it. We're done. And wrap.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
That's what we got. If it's enough for you, it's enough for us.